I thought I'd do a video about how I managed to do powerlifting and rugby at the same time, kind of go through all the caveats in terms of the fact that I've played rugby for 16 plus years, elite level powerlifter and an online coach, and go through some of the failures as well that have happened to me along the way, and kind of some lessons, and hopefully there's something you can take away if you were going to try doing two sports at the same time, especially alongside powerlifting, and still be able to keep your powerlifting kind of as high as you want. So first things first, I've played rugby from the age of 4 till 20, so 16 years of rugby there, and then played at 24 for about 6 months, and now I'm back playing at 28, 29 years old. So in those 16 years, I was playing for school, for club and for counties, and I'd be playing anywhere up to 3 games a week of rugby. So typically it would be 3 games a week. I'd play on a Wednesday, a Saturday and a Sunday. And I'd have training around that as well. So I've built up a lot of resilience to rugby over the years. Like I'm used to the impact, used to set piece, and just the general wear and tear that comes from playing rugby. Like my body's very used to it. I've had very, very few injuries across that time. I have a pinky finger that's not straight. I have a fractured index finger, and outside of that, there isn't too much going on, which I'm very fortunate to be able to say. Just with the boys this year are just losing teeth. Like teeth are falling out of people's mouth, and it's grim. I've never lost a tooth from rugby. I had the ACJ injury this year, which is probably the most major, but it didn't stop me playing rugby, so it doesn't really count. It stopped my powerlifting bench, but didn't stop me playing rugby. So it's like a 50-50 on if it counts as an injury. I'm an online coach, so I have a lot of flexibility in my day around work and a lot of time to be able to train as well. What else we got? I guess technically an elite level powerlifter. So I have 8-9 years of experience in powerlifting, very used to powerlifting, the wear and tear of powerlifting as well. And I have a lot of experience around with coaching as well, and how to work around kind of issues, injuries, niggles, to be able to keep myself training. So it's very rare that I'll have a day where if something hurts, I won't be able to perform a lift, right? So if my hip's hurting, I will still be able to deadlift. If my hip's hurting, I'll still be able to squat. It may be a different kind of squat, it may be a variation, it may be change the bar position, but I will find a way to do the movement, to stick to the program. It's something that I kind of pride myself in over the years that I've been able to do for myself, is to just stay in the game essentially. It's probably something that I picked up from rugby as well. With it, it comes that it's hard doing two sports. Like it's genuinely difficult, especially when it's rugby. If it was swimming, it's probably going to be a lot easier. If it's cycling, it's going to be a lot easier. Yuri manages cycling and powerlifting really well. You've got people who do swim like 2K, which is mad to me, by the way, that some people casually swim 2K, because I'm drowning at about 500 meters, and that's with breaks. Like, I don't get it. I still suck, but they're a lot less impact. Rugby is probably the worst sport that you could choose to do alongside powerlifting. Like, I can't think of many others that are worse, but hey, it worked out in the end. Just with the randomness of impact, like car crash collisions all the time. I play a hooker, so I'm in a position where I'm in the scrum the whole time. So I'm in the middle of the scrum, just 2 people trying to hit me as hard as they can. So there's a lot of impact that comes through my spine as well with that, through my neck, tackling, running, the whole shebang. It's not very good for powerlifting. But that being said, managed to find a way to work both of them together. So the specifics of that, my training plan was based around rugby to start with, because the schedule for that is a constant. So I will train on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and have games on Saturdays for rugby. Now, it isn't every Saturday that I have a game, and it isn't every Tuesday, Thursday there's training. If there's rest weeks, we usually have an extra rest day just to allow everyone's bodies to recover a bit more. But with that, I don't really change my schedule too much, because it's just additional rest that I probably need, and kind of taking as much rest and as much recovery as I can get while doing both at the same time. So then I would SBD on Mondays, I would bench on Tuesdays before rugby training, rest day Wednesday, I'd probably go to the sauna, Thursday full primary SBD and rugby training in the evening, rest or sauna on Friday, and then Saturday would be game day. So that's my week structure. Now, that's how I did it when I wasn't peaking. When I was peaking, I would have Saturday full SBD. I'll just put it on screen what I do. but I feel like powerlifting split with rugby training twice a week is kind of how I'd describe that, rather than rugby with some powerlifting alongside it. Now, I managed 3 blocks coming into nationals of coaching myself. And I think if I had one more, I'd have been 870-ish on the day. I don't have a real level of degree of confidence in that. Oh, my battery is about to die, so this could be fun. But that's how it felt. It felt like I was 1 block away from being, boom, a little bit stronger. And that comes from just not coaching myself for enough time, which isn't specifically a failure, but something to think about for next time if there is. Okay, the battery's back. So it's one of those things where I don't really have any evidence for it. It just feels like 1 more block would have been better. But it might have been worse. It might have been that caused me to crash and burn and to not enjoy powerlifting again. And but how I was training with the original split with only squatting twice a week alongside rugby was really good. And I'm very happy with how strength maintained through that. And I was very fortunate with how the weeks lined up with rugby, where my kind of week 4s, I'd be able to push. I'd be able to push real hard and then kind of work out from there. Yeah, so it all worked out pretty well with that. The kind of sliders and using that, as soon as I needed powerlifting to be up, I had to come down on rugby, so that's dropping games. And now it's December time coming into January. Like, I need to gain some more fitness, essentially, more repeated efforts. I need to be better at rugby now because I'm not happy with how I'm playing. Like, I'm not playing badly by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not playing as well as I should be. And maybe I'm being a bit harsh on myself because I'm trying to remember me from a decade ago, which sounds crazy to say, but from a decade ago, I remember how I could run and tackle just all the time. Almost a threat ball in hand. And I can still do that. I just gas out way faster. And yeah, back then I was about 20 kilos lighter. But I want to be able to do that now at 103, 104 kilos. Because I believe I can. I can believe I can be so much better right now as a rugby player if I kind of put some more things into that. So kind of pulling the powerlifting slider right back to the point where today I did 220 for a beltless, 225 for a beltless single. And I went, that'll do. Like that's enough powerlifting for today. Did some staggered stance, trap bar RDLs, some calf raise isos and some chin ups, and was like, cool. It's a pretty good session. I'm still kind of recovering from flu. Like my body is still not 100%. Almost all my markers are back to where they need to be, but I'm just like, I can feel it in my lungs that it's still not fully gone, which is annoying because I need it to go away. But through Christmas, through New Year, a little bit more of a focus on kind of off-feet cardio, jumping, impact, ballistics, all of these things, like some fun stuff to train with. It's very, very different. And I don't feel a need right now to jump back into powerlifting. I think I just need to just chill for a bit. Like 2 weeks of not pushing powerlifting isn't going to kill me. Just need to wait. If you're just casually swimming alongside powerlifting, you have no worries. If you're casually running alongside powerlifting, you have no worries. Like in your taper week, it's probably best to just drop them off. So I didn't play rugby for the last week. I still, like, before my heaviest session, I still went to rugby on the Thursday. My heaviest session was on the Saturday, and then just didn't play rugby for the next 2 sessions. And that took me into comp really nicely. But I feel like if it's just some gentle swimming or some running, or you're playing badminton or like paddle at the moment, I don't think you need to prep very well for any of those. Like paddle is, yeah, you don't really need to do a structured warm-up or kind of a return to play protocol to get back into paddle. But for rugby or for bigger team sports, football, say, it's probably worth running a little like ramp up through it, not just going straight back into it. So for example, like I did touch rugby and kind of built that up. And along that way, like I've had hamstring issues, had 2 hamstring issues through that, getting used to sprinting again. My Achilles weren't great for the first few times, but like I'd finish doing that and I'd come back and I'd have a cold bath to help recovery. I've got fish in the cupboard. What is it? Is it mackerel? We'll say it's mackerel. Tinned mackerel, and just one of those straight after training as well. Just tiny little things to help you along the way, to help your body. It's just being kind to it and allowing that recovery. And like something as simple as foam rolling, like it's not magic, but a little bit of foam rolling before going to run around it's not a bad thing to do. Considering being a powerlifter, how rigid and restricted everything is going to be, just doing a little bit of something to warm up. And then when you get there, so say rugby training, a little bit of extra warming up. Like, especially being older now. If I'm 18, I don't know if I'd take the same approach, but being 29, like, I can't just get onto the field and start sprinting. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to injure myself. And it's funny to now become that person, because when I was 18 and all the older guys would take longer to warm up, you kind of laugh at them. You're like, what are you doing? Like, your body can't be that bad. And it doesn't feel that bad, but you just have that feeling in the back of your head. You're like, if I just start sprinting now without warming up properly, or without, you know, getting my hamstrings going a little bit before, getting my calves going, like practicing, kind of going through some like A skips, you're like, yeah, let's get them pretty badly. So with that, I think just being extra vigilant on warming up and just listening to your body a little bit more is going to be major for it. For me, that comes in pretending to be Andy Good sometimes. So when my body's not feeling good, I'll put, if you don't know who Andy Good is, it doesn't really hit, but I'll put a couple of pictures of Andy Good up on the screen if I can. But it's a specimen. Professional rugby player, by the way, played for England, like genuinely a very good rugby player. Just doesn't run. So when I'm like carrying any kind of knocks and stuff at training, I will have sessions where I just pretend to be Andy Good and I'm just not going to sprint. I'll jog around, walk around, play the ball, like try to be more of a distributor than a carrier, and just be involved and still doing that and still get kind of all the benefit of going to rugby practice, but just not sprinting to save myself, because I know that if I was to, that I might injure myself. So kind of taking care of your body like that. And that's where I failed the first time, going back to rugby when I was 24, 25, is that I didn't do any of that stuff because I still believed that I was 18. And it just ended with me not being able to walk. Like I was turning up for rugby matches with extra insoles in for more padding for the impact. I had 2 ankle compressions on each ankle, Achilles tape and my ankle taped, and extra metatarsal padding as well. So my foot is like, it's barely my foot and ankle at that point. And I still couldn't run without pain. And so I just gave up after 6 months, because I'd gone back to rugby training, hard ground, and gone, well, just stick my boots on because it's rugby practice. And I'm not wearing big studs, like I was wearing molds at that point. But my feet weren't used to impact, my Achilles weren't used to impact. And that kind of impact with hard ground in summer when preseason is brutal. Like absolutely brutal. So I spent this preseason and touch just wearing trainers the whole time. And it's a weird thing to try sidestep in trainers because you just slip a little bit. But the risk of slipping versus actually, you know, just beating up my feet and my Achilles, and rugby being over before it even started, was worth it. And I'd kind of restrict how much I sidestepped, restrict how much I sprinted, and kind of built into it a lot more. A very kind of methodical approach of, okay, like I've had 2 good weeks here of like doing a couple of sprints. Let's allow a few more sprints, see how I go. Allow a few more sprints, hamstring twinges. It's like, okay, pull back, start to build up. What am I missing in the gym? What am I missing here? What can I do to improve that? Like, where is it? Is it when I'm slowing down? Is it when I'm going? And it was always when I was slowing down rapidly. It's so funny. Just to think back on like what I was doing at 24 and how it came to an end with that much pain, and me to just have been so stubborn at the time to have not changed anything to try deal with it. Just like pure rock head, just like, yeah. And that's what I've avoided this time, and I think why it's been so successful and why I'm still playing rugby in December now. When last time I tapped out in October, and I feel good for the rest of the season. And being more specific with the sliders, just more rugby right now, and getting fitter and better at that, I'm going to be in a better position. Like come the end of the season, come kind of pre-season for rugby, I'm going to be able to get myself in such a better shape and be such a better player, which is really exciting for me. And at the same time, I'm going to be able to train powerlifting a little bit harder in the summer because I won't have rugby matches, I won't have that additional fatigue, I'll have time to actually push powerlifting again. And it's this balance of like, I'm okay with being weaker right now because I know I can get it back. And that was I think 14-week prep I did. So if I can get to 18 weeks out and know what comp I'm doing, like I'm way ahead of where I need to be, and it will come back so quickly. And that's exciting. Like I have a great plan now that I can kind of rely on. But with that plan, I think I need to change how I do when I'm not close to competition. I think doing where I have a Monday SBD at the moment, I think I'd benefit far more from that Monday being more of like a general movement, like GPP type session, and then doing SBD on the Tuesday with rugby in the evening, rest on Wednesday, SBD, and kind of have 3 days in the week of like hard work, which are the 2 rugby training days with SBD and then game day. And I feel like that would work really well. And it's the normal split between my tertiary day. So my normal Thursday in prep and my primary SBD is SBD, SBD. And so taking that, put it to Tuesday and Thursday now. And so I might keep it closer, but equally kind of the fatigue and everything dripping across from it. Would the GBP on Monday affect the Tuesday too much? Like, I doubt it. I think I'd be able to recover and probably have my body feeling better. But I think that's something I want to try, just to make a change like that. And obviously, if I was working a 9 to 5, it wouldn't be possible to do that. I'd have to look at training an alternative way. But kind of that work stress from 9 to 5 would leak, and I'd be able to do lower frequencies, I think, and still maintain my strength. Then kind of up that as I got a little bit close to competition, drop off the rugby a bit, and kind of, once again, play with those sliders a little bit more. So my plan for now is back off on the powerlifting for a bit. I'm not excited about doing powerlifting stuff at the moment. I'm excited about trying something new with the rugby things. I'm still going to keep comp squatting and benching in the week, but it'll only be once a week. But I'll be doing kind of front squats or high bar box squats and close grip bench, push press, like still training upper body movements, but trying to be a little bit more rugby specific. Med ball throws, all the kind of fun stuff that you see people doing in the gym is what I'm going to be trying to do more of now. And I don't think it's going to do anything bad to my powerlifting. It's going to be strange for a month, I think it is, that I've got to do this. But I think when I come back into powerlifting stuff, I'll feel a bit more refreshed and I'll feel better as a rugby player. And it will mean that the games are probably less taxing because I'm able to recover better from them because I'm fitter. And I have this thing in my head where if I can get better physically for rugby, everything I do rugby-wise is going to be less taxing. So then I can do more powerlifting. But I need to keep kind of like bumping it up. I can't just go, okay, like everything rugby, no powerlifting, and then try bring powerlifting back up. It's not going to work. I think it just needs to be this, and the impacts are just going to lessen. Alongside eating well, looking after myself, sleeping lots, which doesn't seem to be an issue at the moment. This flu makes you sleep like crazy. Like, I've been averaging 9.5, 10 hours for the past week and a half. It has been rough because I'm out like a light. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm asleep and now wake up and it's, 8 o'clock and I've overslept. But I can't not because my body just feels like it needs to. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. It should be fun doing more of the rugby stuff. I just need to make sure that I'm looking after myself, practicing my jumping, practicing all that stuff. And watching myself jump is so cringe. It's horrible. Like, I suck at jumping. I need to get better at it. I need to get better at repeated efforts. So that's going to be my fun over Christmas. Hopefully there's something in there that you can take away from it. There's a bit of a mismatch of kind of zipping between different things, but just that it's very possible. It just takes some planning, and if you need to have a conversation about, you want to talk to me about doing 2 sports, like, feel free to message me on Instagram. I'm more than happy to talk about it. It's quite interesting for me. Like, I want to know how to manage it better, so I'm going to be doing there's a couple of people that I've already done it with, but I want to do some more of it because it's very interesting to me. But anyways, that's it.